Hey guys, welcome to Saints TV. I thought I'd do a quick video today. Maybe not a quick video, there's a lot to talk about. But I just thought I'd do a video talking about the club since that round 23 loss to Sydney. I haven't really done a video since then, and I felt like doing one today. I've got a bit of time on my hands and there's been a lot happening at the club. You know, Brett Ratten being announced senior coach, which is outstanding news. And no doubt I have the full faith in him going into next season. Also, his speech at the Best and Fairest was brilliant, and he set the tone for 2020 and told the players to come back. And he really wants to never finish 14th or lower ever again. He wants to climb the ladder from this point onwards, and I loved that. He really set a challenge for himself and the team. So I'm really looking forward to him as coach next season. Trade news, there's a lot to talk about there, so that's a focus for this video, is to catch up on trade news and see what's happening. And if you guys know anything I don't, feel free to comment. And obviously, the devastating news this week, the tragic news, the sudden, I can't even really describe it when I read it. The loss of Danny Frawley. I've never met the guy. I wish I did. But I watched him every week. I listened to him all the time, and just his sheer enthusiasm, his footy smarts, but most of all, the thing that just draws us St Kilda fans to him is obviously his love and passion and dedication to the club, and to always back the club no matter what. He's always loved the club and tried to do the best with what the club's been doing. And him as a player, second longest serving captain ever behind Nick Riewoldt. After 70 odd games or so, he was captain for the rest of his career essentially. And I can't imagine a football world without Danny Frawley. I love the tributes that everyone's been sending in, and it's hard to do the right tribute. There's always something that's missing, and no matter what you do, you're always going to feel sad, and the family's obviously going to be going through a tough time for a very long time. And I'm just glad the football world is united like this and put their support to the Frawley family, because it's a position that you wouldn't wish upon anyone. So it's just devastating to hear that sort of news. Especially when, I feel like the club's going somewhere, and out of all people that deserve to see a second premiership, it's Spud, So condolences to him, to his family, and there's not much more to say about that. It was great to see the Best and Fairest, and to see guys like Stewie Lowe, Mike Roberts, and Nathan Burke just talk through some anecdotes from back in the day with Spud, and to hear their stories on it, and to put the humour back into it, because it's easy to be sad this week, obviously, but the personality that Spud brought to anything that he did was to take the mickey out of himself, to have a bit of humour in a certain moment, and just to bring a smile to people's faces. And you listen to him on Triple M, and he's by far the funniest guy on that show. And today, I think Triple M and SEN are uniting from midday, so just started now, to do a joint telecast or broadcast to tribute him. So it's beautiful that they've done that. So I just wanted to mention that in this video. But obviously, it's hard to work around that. But there has been other things that's happened at the club that we need to talk about. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But obviously, with this week being this week, it's easy to focus on Spud, and rightly so. He's given so much to the club, and it's tough. It's really tough. But there has been other news, and that's what I wanted to talk about today as well, in terms of the club. Brett Ratten, senior coach. Exactly what we wanted. Exactly what I wanted. I don't know if everyone here wanted Brett Ratten as senior coach, but I'm so glad. The more I hear him speak, especially his speech at the Best and Fairest, the more confident I am that we're going in the right direction. And I think slowly, the bricks to build this foundation are setting into place, and I'm really excited at 2020, and and what he has to bring. I'm interested to see if he changes admin in terms of his senior coaches around him, his assistant coaches, and what happens there. But I'm really excited at the to be led in 2020 and onwards by Brett Ratten. He looks like a determined guy. I love the challenge that he set to the players at the best and fairest, and what he basically said was, we finished 14th this season. We don't want to be in that position ever again. From this point forward, we're moving up the ladder. He said exactly that. Honestly, I had maybe a little few goosebumps. Like, fuck yeah, like, come on. I just love that we don't have a coach that just stands there like, oh, we're going to try our best. We've had coaches like that before. But Brett Ratten's here, and he knows that we have a list that can do things, and if we can turn over the right players and get the right players in this off-season, which looks like after yesterday's news is happening, we're in for hopefully a big season. In terms of the other things we want to talk about, best and fairest. Let's go through that. Best and fairest. Seb Ross won that. Rowan Marshall won almost every other award, though. He finished runner-up, which is an award in itself. He got the Lenny Hayes Players Player Award. He got the Robert Harvey, I think is it the Saner of the Year, or was that the Dare Ice Coffee Saner of the Year? And then he got the another award, I think. Can't remember what the third or fourth one was. There's too many to count. But Rowan Marshall cleaned up at the awards. Jack Steele finished third. I think that's his 2 years in a row that he's been in the top three, I think. So it's excellent for him. He had a great season. Gresh polled pretty well, but obviously he missed the last month. So he was never going to win that. But yeah, I am surprised that Rowan Marshall didn't win it. I know a lot of people here are. The second I posted that Ross won, a lot of comments saying, wow, that's a joke. How can you do that? But you just knew it. Like, you knew how the night was panning out. They were giving Marshall every award bar the Best and Fairest award just to make sure that he was recognised because he had an exceptional season. That's strategically what they did. And then Ross didn't win any awards up until the Best and Fairest. Predictable. You knew that the month that Ross had after Rats came in, he excelled. He played better. He did. We have to admit that. He was pretty shocking for the first half of the season. Very good the second half. And he cleaned up his ball use. He got more of the ball, kicked more goals. He was always going to finish at least top three. And when you think about, no way Rowan Marshall wins 4 awards and then a Best and Fairest, 5 awards in a night after 33 games. Absurd. Although deserved, with the season that he had. And yeah, Jack Steele reigning that out top 3 there. Mark of the Year, Josh Bruce. Goal of the Year, Jack Loney. Celebration of the Year, Matty Parker. Tackle of the Year, Battle as well. And I loved having... They had Battle up on stage, talking with Hunter Clark, Nick Caulfield, Cal Wilkie as well. So they all were up there and got a moment to shine. And they've all had... it's exciting to think that 2 years ago, not one of those players was really starting 18 to 22 player, and now all 4 of them have really excelled. And Hunter Clark, obviously, I'm amazed that he didn't win, most promising player. But we know that he's promising. He doesn't need an award to justify that. Then you've got Josh Battle, who sets its own in defence now, and then Nick Caulfield coming along nicely, and Cal Wilkie playing every game for the season. So that's amazing to see, and really exciting moving forward. The big news, though, is trade news. Let's get to that. We've heard a lot about Brad Hill, a lot, and a lot of people thinking, we're going to have to pay overs to get him, and we may have to, pick 5, but hopefully we don't. But the news is that he nominated us yesterday, and that's excellent news. Our first really big fish. He's All-Australian, Premiership player, voted in the MVP. I don't think they've announced that yet, or have they? But he was nominated for that as well. 26 years old, elite runner, elite ball user, does not stop running. He'll clock the most Ks for anyone in our team, I'm sure, next season. And when you look at it, and you've got a wing with Brad Hill on one, and then the other wing is Jack Billings, and then hopefully in the middle of fit Dan Hanbury, Seb Ross, Jack Steele, even a few other players that we can get in, hopefully fill the depth there, Gresham back. That's a nice nucleus of a midfield right there, and Bytel coming in. The list is slowly starting to get that depth, and obviously that A-grade talent is what we want and what Ratten wants. And Ratten to work with Brad Hill at Hawthorn, so a good relationship there. And Hopefully we can get the deal done sooner rather than later. The other news, and I can't really give too much detail on this, is that I know for a fact, and I've been told, that Ben King movements are underway. So let's see what happens in that space. But I know that the club is pushing for Ben King to come to St Kilda. A lot of you have said that, no way, he's living with the Koshis. They're getting a place together on the Gold Coast. He hasn't signed a contract. And anything can happen, guys. Just because they're renting somewhere doesn't mean he can't leave. My roommate, could break his agreement and fly overseas. It doesn't make a difference. They just pay it out and they're done. Easy. Just because he's moved in, he can relocate. His brother lives in Melbourne. He plays for St Kilda. He can move in with him in 2 seconds, no doubt. So there's a lot of movement there. So keep an eye out for Ben King to St Kilda. Rumours to just gain steam there. The other one, Zach Jones, is very close. From Sydney, people have a mixed opinion on whether he wants, they want to play like Zach Jones, but depth, runner, he's pacey, and he's attacking, and I like that. I think a player like him coming off the bench and running through half back on the wing could be really, really beneficial for us, and it's just more depth. The other one's Paddy Ryder, and I think he met with Essendon this week, but I've heard that we are still pushing very hard for him, so there's no guarantee that he's going to nominate Essendon. Even if he's met with them, we still have a big hand to play there, so watch that space as well. And then, obviously, the big news is, in terms of players coming out of St Kilda, Josh Bruce to the Dogs. It's looking likely, to be honest. I think that it's almost done. I think that we need to hear this news quickly so we can really work on a replacement, and Ben King could well be that. Although he's not ready-made Ben King. Obviously, Bruce has had a lot of time in the system and he's a known goal kicker, but for the next 3 to 5 years, I think Ben King and Max King in the forward line could be dangerous with Tim Membry, but maybe Paddy Ryder coming in could play a more forward role and leave Rowe to dominate the ruck, but that remains to be seen. But I think it's a 4-year deal from the Dogs. If you watch the Best and Fairest, please, did you notice that, Bruce, even when they interviewed him, it just didn't seem right. And they talked him up a lot in the highlight reel. Every game was Bruce took a mark, Bruce did that. So I don't know if they're just trying to up his currency there, but we're going to have to ask for a lot from the Dogs. He's got a year on his contract, so if the Dogs want him, they're going to have to pay up. And maybe that's a way that we can get rid of Bruce and get a high pick. I think they've got pick 13, 14 or something along there at the moment. Pick 12 potentially. Could we use that for Brad Hill? Get rid of Bruce, get that, keep pick 5, use that for Brad Hill, and maybe Akers to Fremantle, who's another player that may go back home to Perth. Could that be a play? Would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to get rid of Josh Bruce to get a better pick in place for keeping pick 5 and still getting Brad Hill? Potentially. And maybe using pick 5 instead on Ben King. Pick 5, Ben King, the pick that we get from the Dogs for Bruce, for Brad Hill, and a player. Would you do that? Out is Bruce and maybe Akers, someone like that. In is Brad Hill and Ben King. Could be a consideration. What do you guys think? The other one is, and I don't think this will be done until Geelong finish up their finals campaign, and they won last night, so this is going to be prolonged another week. But Jack Stephen to Geelong. I've heard that, picks will be involved, and obviously Constable wants out. Maybe even an Abbott in the ruck could be an option, but I think the one that we want is Constable. I've heard that Geelong fans are mixed feelings about this player. Apparently he's very much like an Akers to them, is that, he shows so much potential, but he's not consistent enough, and now to their point, they're willing to let him go. I don't think it'll be a straight swap for just Constable for Stephen. I think they'll be more involved, but I don't think it'll happen in the next couple of weeks, or at least until Geelong have time after their season's done to focus on these things. But it's very interesting times. I mean, it's very exciting times. I'm super positive about next season. Just hearing Ratten in that Best and Fairest, I'm really confident that he's really serious about this role, and so he should be. We finished 14th. We don't want to be finishing there again, and I'm just excited that he wants to finish higher every year. And I know he's not going to be happy with 13th or 12th. He wants to jump places. He's that sort of guy. He's worked under Alistair Clarkson. He's been under the best for a long time. And he was very good at Carlton, despite what some people think. So So I'm super excited moving into next season with the news of Brad Hill. And obviously, you guys saw my post with Brad Hill in Saints gear. He looks fucking nice in Saints gear, and that took me a bit of time to Photoshop, but I'm glad I did it because he looks awesome in it, and you guys seem to enjoy it. And I think he saw it on Instagram as well. Didn't like it, but he saw it. So I can't wait for that to get underway and to get some players in and out and to really focus on 2020 because it's been a tough end of the season, particularly this week with Frawley. But yeah, get down to RACA Park, back onto that. They've got a beautiful memorial set up there for him, photos of him, flowers. Get down there. I haven't had a chance to get there yet, but I might do so when I can. I'm interested to see what they do with the number 2. If Jake Carlisle wants to take it on board or do they retire it? What do you guys think? Does Jake Carlisle, if he stays, does he keep the number 2? The number 2 deserves to be on the field. That's all I know. Same with the number 12 with Nick Real and Max King next season. So I think that if Jake Carlisle does stay, and I think Ratten said that he's a required player, he wants him there, I think Carlisle will stay. Bruce, on the other hand, Ratten did say he's also a required player. But interestingly, when they asked him about Jack Steven, he said, whatever makes him happy. So read into that what you will, but hey, I'll keep Jack Steven next season as a forward pocket. I'd be happy with that, but I'm thinking Geelong will make a play for him. But it depends on how their final series go. If they win a premiership, do they really want Jack Steven? Or if they just miss out, do they think topping up on a player like Jack Steven will get them to where they need to go next season? It's interesting. I might leave it there, guys. Thanks again for watching. There's been a lot to talk about. Let me know what your thoughts are on the current trade rumours, players coming in and players going out, what your thoughts are there. And if you've heard anything, comment below and I'll respond when I can. Brett Ratten, are you happy with him as senior coach? I'm just over the moon that he's senior coach. I'm very happy about that, and the players are happy about that. And the best and fairest, although it was very much dedicated to Danny Frawley and the memory that he leaves behind as a past player, past best and fairest winner, all Australian captain, just all round genuinely beautiful bloke. There was a positive vibe about it, and it's great to see players like Hunter Clark poll well and Kel Wilkie poll well and the best and fairest, and players that we're not relying on to get to finals. We want an even spread, and I think that we're getting that. And if we can get a good turnover in the trade season, we're gonna bolster that even more and get players back from injury. Dylan Robertson and Paddy McCartan, we still don't know what's going on there, but we'll see. In the next couple of weeks, I'd say they'll announce some news. I'm hoping that they try and go around, but I think I've got a cheeky feeling that Paddy McCartan might well be done. But if Bruce goes, maybe Paddy's that replacement, but we'll see. I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Has been a tough week for everyone involved with the club and the AFL, but it's just great to see everyone uniting for Danny Frawley and his family, and it's just great to see all the highlights of him and the funny moments, and that's what we need to remember. So having said that, I just wanted to end this video on Danny Frawley. St Kilda made a really nice tribute video for him that they put up at the Best and Fairest the other night, so I thought it'd be fitting just to end the video on that and for us to reflect back on Danny Frawley. Champion sake. Rest in peace, mate.
Who's the guy doing one, Dan?
That's it. Oh, look at them.
Oh, look at one. Oh, geez, I cut one in half. Now, look at the sides. That's a good one. There, that's all right.
Look at that.
I'm only learning the trade, Dan.
Beer all day the way you're thinking.